The Viking Portable Library World Bible, edited by Robert O. Ballou. The Confucianist. The gentle teaching and the gentle learning. From the works of Mencius. Convention and emergency. A man of Jin asks the disciples of Ballou, saying, "Is an observance of the rules of propriety in regard to eating or the eating the more important?" The answer was, the observance of the rules of propriety is the more important. Is the gratifying of the appetite of sex, or the doing so only according to the rules of propriety, the more important? The answer again was, the observance of the rules of propriety in the matter is the more important. The man pursued, if the result of eating only according to the rules of propriety will be death by starvation, while by disregarding those rules we may get food, must they still be observed in such a case? If according to the rule that he shall go in person to meet his wife, a man cannot get married, while by disregarding that rule he may get married, must he still observe the rule in such a case? Ballou was unable to reply. To those questions. And the next day when he went to Zhao, he went to Mencius. Mencius said, "Go and answer him thus. If by twisting your elder brother's arm and snatching from him what he is eating, you can get food for yourself, while if you do not do so, you will not get anything to eat. Will you so twist his arm? If by getting over your neighbor's wall and dragging away his virgin daughter, you can get a wife, well, if you do not do so, you will not be able to get a wife. Will you drag her away?" Well, there's a difference between doing things because you need to survive and doing horrible things to take things from other people that's not needed. You don't have to have a wife. It's good to get one, but not at that cost. But certainly when it comes to some things, yeah, you're excused doing stuff to survive. Just don't, "Ooh, I get a raw people, yeah," or whatever the case may be. All things are complete in us. He who has exhausted all his mental constitution knows his nature. Knowing his nature, he knows heaven. To preserve one's mental constitution and nourish one's nature is the way to serve heaven. There is an appointment for everything. A man should receive submissively what may be correctly ascribed thereto. Therefore he who has the true idea of what is heaven's appointment will not stand beneath a precipitous wall. Death sustained in the discharge of one's duties may correctly be ascribed to the appointment of heaven. Death under handcuffs and fetters cannot correctly be so ascribed. So don't blame fate for things, because fate includes our choices. All things are complete in us. If one acts with vigorous effort at the law of reciprocity, when he seeks for the realization of perfect virtue, nothing can be closer than his approximation to it. Let a man not do what his own sense of righteousness tells him not to do, and let him not desire what his sense of righteousness tells him not to desire. To act thus is all he has to do. Men who are possessed of intelligent virtue and prudence in affairs will generally be found to have been in sickness and troubles. They are the friendless minister and the concubine's son, who keep their hearts under a sense of peril and use deep precautions against calamity. On this account they become distinguished for intelligence. To stand in the center of the empire and tranquilize the people within the 4 seas. The superior man delights in this, but the highest enjoyment of his nature is not here. What belongs by his nature to the superior man are benevolence, righteousness, propriety, and knowledge. These are rooted in his heart. Their growth and manifestation are a mild harmony, appearing in the countenance, a rich fullness in the back, and a character imparted to the four limbs. Those limbs understand to arrange themselves without being told. There are men who say, I am skillful at marshaling troops, I am skillful at conducting a battle. They are great criminals. If the sovereign of a state love benevolence, he will have no enemy in the empire. If men of virtue and ability be not confined in, a state will become empty and void, without the rules of propriety and distinctions of right. The high and the low will be thrown into confusion. Without the great principles of government and the various business, there will not be wealth sufficient for the expenditure. Words which are simple, while their meaning is far-reaching, are good words. Principles which are as held are compentious, while their application is extensive, are good principles. The principle which the superior man holds is that of personal cultivation. But the empire is thereby tranquilized. The disease of men is this, that they neglect their own fields and go to weed the fields of others, and that what they require from others is great, while what they lay upon themselves is light. So, address the metacortical, the reward system, before addressing the control system. Well, address them both, right? And we need guidance that is compact, that can be extended into all issues. And I believe that this happens in the scripture of this age.